Hey, Tom here, FlipAnything USA. So I've been talking about the economy crashing. I started in a recession in 1981 is when I bought my first property when I was 19 years old. And I can tell you, not all crashes happen overnight. Like, the 2009 thing was really quick. But this thing's been ramping up for a while, and that's why I was talking about how my experience with the recession in the 80s and a little bit in 2009, I don't necessarily consider that a recession, not like the other, but I guess technically it might have been. Somebody can correct me on that if you want, but I think actually Richard did last time. But it takes time. You hear about trickle-down economics. Well, it's real. When things are good, people spend money, trickles down, people employed, people work. Well, same thing happens when things go to shit. It trickles down. So a lot of people are arguing with me about, the rich are already so rich, they're not going to be affected by this. And I was saying in a video or two ago about pretend like you lost your job and conduct yourself like as if you lost your job. In other words, cut your overhead, all that sort of thing. And still highly recommend you do that. So Toll Brothers, they're kind of a luxury product for homes. I guess their numbers are down 60%, if you believe what you see on the news. And I believe it. I just had another air conditioner. I call it getting $5,000 to death. $5,000 to death. Somebody coined that phrase on me when they heard me say it, and it stuck with them a long time ago. Well, now I'm more kind of getting $10,000 to death, because the things that used to cost $5,000 are costing $10,000. And I'm talking about air conditioners, I'm talking about carpeting, I'm talking about roof repairs, and all that sort of thing. Hey, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I'll always share with you, give you the truth, everything I've been through. Wrote a book, Wake Up and Smell the Real Estate. It's been a big seller on Amazon Kindle. I'm sure this will be the best $10 or $20 you ever spend. I already have many millionaires in my mentorship. FlipAnythingUSA.com. Be sure to check that out and watch the testimonials. Had another testimonial yesterday, or maybe it was this morning. I published Garrett, great guy, hard-working guy, and believe me, that's the difference. You really want to be a hard worker, and you want to be a skilled worker if you can be. Get some skills. I say it all the time. But so now this is what happens, though, right? It's trickle down. Things are busy, people get jobs, people go to work. Now, just the opposite's happened. You're going to see, businesses have heavy inventories. Macy's has huge inventories on a lot of products they can't sell. And same with Bed Bath & Beyond. And I look at some of this stuff for no reason. I don't have any investment stock-wise in that stuff. But letting you know if consumers have money to spend or not, that's a big deal. And, I'm really careful about my rentals. I feel really strongly that I'm going to be safe. And but I've got a lot of equity too, so I can take a pretty heavy blow, if I'm vacancies and that sort of thing. But I still, take, kind of a strategic approach to it. I keep rents under market, and because I want everybody to survive. And I can tell you, most of the people that rent from me are pretty much my friends too. And so if I can afford it, I keep rents as low as I can and still make a decent return on my money. They have a thing, pigs get slaughtered, meaning you get too greedy. And sometimes, you can, you kind of forget, where you came from and that sort of thing. A lot of people let money go to your head. Everybody's kind of heard those things or seen those kind of Hollywood stories. And I can say it's true to a degree. It's very tempting to be lazy. I can have a big vacancy sometimes, and I have to remind myself, you know what? You can't let stuff sit empty. Just because you can afford to let stuff sit empty, you can't do it. And so like I say, that when I say you can't afford to let things sit empty, even though you can afford to do it, you can't. And that's kind of goes back to what I was saying. It's kind of analogous to what I was saying about, pretend you've lost your job. And I always try to maintain that with my rentals and all the stuff that I have. I try to remember, just because you can afford to let something sit empty, or, you can hold out for a higher price, and it's good to hold out for good tenants, don't get me wrong. And I have great tenants. I have really good tenants. And like I said, I've taken a strategic approach with, Amazon. I see Amazon hurting a lot of businesses. They kind of sell their products, and then they basically copycat the products, get the same thing from China, hold back their inventory, and start selling their own shit under a different label. It's really a sinister. It's really sinister. It's business, but it's sinister. And you got to always think sinister. This is getting a little bit off topic, but I can tell you, you can't trust anybody that stands to make a profit on you. Anybody, that includes myself. Look, I have a mentorship, a money-back guarantee on it, so you can't get taken advantage of. But believe me, you can't trust anybody. I'll give you a quick story here. I'm going to be at my girlfriend's house. Number one, listen, it's coming. Things are, don't think for a second that if you haven't felt it yet, you're gonna feel it. You're gonna feel it. You might be helping somebody else that needs a job. The high-tech recruiters aren't out there. They're not looking for the jobs. Apple got rid of 100 high-tech recruiters, engineers and stuff. They don't need them. They don't need 100 recruiters. The 100 recruiters probably get, thousands of people employed. So that's thousands of jobs now coming now. Likewise, Toll Brothers, believe me, they lose 60% of their business. They're not going to be building. You got framers, drywallers, you got all these people getting laid off. That's coming. And then, make matters worse, we got, immigration. We got 2 million new people living in the country that, many of them can't read, write. They know as little as their kids about, basic skills. And so where are they going to work? They're not. We're going to take care of them. So we got a lot of burdens coming on, but there's a fantastic opportunity to make money. You just have to have some skills. You got to buy right. You got to not be conned by the con artists. And believe me, there's a bunch out there. There's a lot of YouTube garbage out there. There's ridiculous funds to invest in. Guys that want you to invest with them buying houses, buying retail deals, stupid shit. Good for them, because they're buying it with your money and getting a piece of your action. But you want to be the boss. You want to hold your own reins. Trust me, hold your own reins to your deals. And then you have the control to cut your losses, if you have losses, or you get all the gains to yourself. People say, hey, Tom, I got a lender. He's kind of a shark. He wants 12%. I go, so what? I'd rather pay somebody 12%. If I'm going to make $100,000 on something, or 50 or 200, maybe even $1 million on something, what do I care if I'm paying him 12% a year and maybe even a couple of points? Now, I don't have to do that. But would I do it? Of course I would. It's just math. Use your head. It's just math. If you have a partner that pays, that maybe comes up with everything and you don't borrow anything, guess what? You got to give him half. You got to give him half of your money. So do you want to give up 12% of your money? If that's assuming you hold it for a year. Or do you want to give somebody 50% of your money? You got to just start thinking in those kinds of terms. And that's what I teach you in my class, by the way, and that and a bunch of other stuff. And welcome, you got a lot of new students, and I appreciate you coming in, and everybody's, they're the right folks. They got the right attitude. A lot of people are pretty successful already. And listen, if you're successful, you got a decent job. It's a no-brainer. You should be in the mentorship. If you're not already a millionaire at 30 or 40 years old, get in the mentorship. You will be a millionaire in no time, I'm sure. Can't guarantee it, of course, but I can guarantee you, you'll love it, or you can have your money back. But I'm telling you, I've been doing this for 41 years, been very successful at it, and there's no reason you can't share in that kind of success. Anyways, back to the whole thing. Like I said, just don't, interest rates going up, that hurts values. Inflation is killing it. It's too expensive. Everything's expensive. Like I said, I was getting $5,000 to death. Now I'm getting $10,000 to death. And I just, I've replaced a couple of big ACs this week. Not even that big. I can't even get air conditioners right now for some of my buildings that I'd be happy to pay the 10 grand. But I can't even get them. We have part shortages. We also have some unpleasant surprises coming in the AC industry, by the way. The AC guys, most of them know what I'm talking about. But anyways, I was just wanted to share, man, don't get complacent. be worried, be concerned. There's an old saying, just because I'm paranoid, it doesn't mean they're not after me, right? And so just because I'm paranoid, it doesn't mean the economy isn't crashing, okay? Anyways, think in those terms. You just got to look at what's out there and see what's coming. And if you can anticipate what's coming to a degree, you'll keep yourself safer, you'll have more money. Don't buy that car. You want a new car? Don't buy it. Just wait. If you got a decent car that already runs well, just sit in it. The values, you'll get a better deal in the future anyways. Charles Givens, he died a long time ago with cancer. He was a smart guy. He wrote a book, something wealth or something. But anyways, one of the things he said is, hey, buy the car of your dreams 2 years after it comes out. And that's what Ben Mala does too. He doesn't buy brand new Rolls Royces and things. He buys them a couple years old, and he saves a pile of money, and he makes money on them. And that's just the kind of thing that you should do. Cardone Capital bought, what did he buy? A multiple family units with lots of, listen, Grant Cardone, you guys know I'm not a fan. He's got the worst freaking advice for an investor ever. And Chris Crone, I feel the same way. Both those guys are kind of doofuses. I don't think any of them could teach, in all honesty. I mean, Grant can point to how, he buys $1 billion worth of real estate by getting $250 million dollars from other people. That's nothing special. It's nothing special. He's a good salesman, and obviously, I would say the masses are the asses, so it's really easy to take advantage of people. But I got no part in that. That's why you don't see me collaborating with a lot of the fakes that are out there. It's just not worth it to me. I won't do it. I don't need to do it. And the fakes do need to do it, because they don't make their money in real estate. They make their money off you. So back on point here. Save your money. Pretend you're broke. I'm telling you, play broke. Just play broke. Play broke to yourself. Play broke to your friends. Pretend you're broke. It's a good strategy in general when you're buying. By the way, I mean, you want people to know you have money and you can pay cash. That's a different game. But what I'm saying is, when it comes down to negotiations, and you'll learn a lot of stuff in the. Hey, get the book. Just get the book. This will shortcut you a bunch already. But get in the mentorship. If you got 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 100 grand, $1 million, whatever. I got multimillionaires in my class. They were multimillionaires before they got in the class. I got others that have become millionaires while they've been in the class. Truth, just come in, come see them. You'll meet them, visit them. They talk just like I'm talking to you. You'll be talking in a Zoom class to these guys. But anyways, don't waste any time getting skills and cutting your overhead. Cut your overhead. Like I said, there's just so much out there to be had. These are uncertain times. These are not the times for a novice person. One of the things I want to say, here, take a look at this. This is a house. See that house? I bought that house, and I bought that house. These are probably the next two I'm going to sell. And I'm actually, there's one to my left, and there's one behind me that I also have also bought on this street. I've already sold them, but it's just I'm here. I'm sharing it with you. If you listen, just be smarter than everybody else. Be smarter than everybody else. I can never even stand there. I'm not knocking football. I appreciate the camaraderie between people watching football and all that sort of thing. But I'm telling you, people waste their life watching football. When I see somebody crying because their team lost, I think, what the fuck? I'm from a different world, I guess. I don't get it. It's, you're watching a millionaire. Oh, I'm crying that those millionaires just lost their game. It's terrible. It's stupid. You didn't make shit watching them, okay? You just got drunk and you're crying. They're maybe they're upset. They're upset because maybe they can get a $5 million bonus. But here, real quick, I see some questions coming. So I'll take a look. All right. Delta says, off-topic question, do you use the steering wheel paddles to shift gears? No, I downshift a little bit with it. But this thing has a thing called Sport, and it kind of does all that shit for you. You can't even shift as efficiently as when you put it in Sport. Casper, is Tom reading the comments? I am now. Cardone, is leveraging himself. That's ballsy in this economy. Well, Gus, not really. Not really. Listen, it's leveraging. When you're spending your money, you're leveraging. When you're using other people's money, you really, it's not such a risk. I wouldn't even call it leveraging. We are seeing a downturn in construction projects, 100%. Absolutely. It's not here today yet for everybody. I can tell you what's going on. Look, I'm doing it right now. I'm wrapping up all my shit. I'm getting everything I can possibly get done. I've got a lot of new leases signed. I got people. I took actions 6 months ago. I got as many 5-year leases as I could get together. And believe me, a 5-year lease doesn't guarantee that person's going to stay in business, but it guarantees they're going to stay in my building while they're in business, and that's important to me. And I cut deals, and I try to be fair because I want everybody to stay. But there's no guarantee, and I have hundreds of thousands of dollars per month coming in rents, and so I have to stay on top of this stuff. Hey Josh, nice to see you in here, buddy. Aren't there a lot of investors and equity firms waiting for a crash? Some of them are part of the crash, guys. Those are, believe me, there's going to be investors and some of the big firms. You can already see, supposedly, I can't confirm it, but supposedly, what is it? I don't know. A couple of the big ones, Blackstone, I heard too. They're selling stuff at a loss. I'm told. I don't know the truth of that, but the fact is, listen, you cut your losses when you need to. Listen, I've just before COVID hit, I didn't want to get caught in what I thought was going to be a little bit nasty. I cut loose a few houses, cut loose a couple more than I wanted actually, and then I realized, oh shit, we got a V recovery, and I jumped right back in, and I bought a bunch more. What is the minimum cap rate on a retail plaza in this market? Everything is overpriced. It's on market, Robert. You can still get a good deal. Last place I got 9.25%. So I make I make $100,000 a year on a $400,000 out of pocket investment on my cash. So I make 24.8% is what I make on that. It's not always that good, and sometimes it's much better. Casper wrote, Tom, I'm a commercial guy. Just watch more stuff, buddy. But yeah, can you explain the difference between retail, office, industrial? They're all retail, office, and industrial are properties. I own a lot of all of it. Okay, I've about 165,000 square feet between those two sources. Probably a little less office now, and I'm glad. But I have some fantastic office. I have schools. I have, some of it I call it flex because it can kind of go both ways. It can be industrial and it can be office. That's a really good property to have, by the way. You just want it to be well located so that it's people got to have easy access to get to work, no matter what it is. Retail is more important that they see. You want frontage that you see the properties. Office, not so important. Just needs an office can be behind a retail center. You still want it to have good access to good thoroughfares to get home quickly. Nobody likes to get on the freeway and drive 5 miles to turn around and go back the other way, and then they're waving to work 20 minutes later in traffic, because they have a circuitous route in order to get out of there. That happens. And those are the kind of things you learn. By the way, that's gold, what I just gave you. But those are the kinds of things you learn in my class about what to avoid, and you'll learn what a good property is. But that's the kind of stuff that it's a good question, and I'm glad you're asking. And that's really one of the best things. If you're inquisitive, that's smart. That's just smart. I can tell you before I had money, I role modeled. In other words, I looked at people that I thought, oh God, I want to be like that guy. I want to have what he has. You know what I mean? I want to have what he has. I want to have a nice car. I want to have, a lot of property. I want the big, beautiful, trucks up there in construction, the beach house, the cool stuff. And so you take an interest. What do they do? How do they make that money? And, pretty much the most common thing is self-employed. And then the other thing is they buy real estate. And those are the things that you want. And there's plenty of people out there, even in my class already, I got guys that have quit their jobs. I got Chris quit his job. He worked at the church. He quit it. and now his wife's a full-time worker, and he's doing his thing. And now, but guess what? Now he volunteers at the church. He gets to volunteer and do the stuff that he likes to do the most. He doesn't have to do the stuff he doesn't want to do. And he's never told me anything about what he likes and doesn't like, but that's just it. Hey, Tom, I'm beginning to meet with commercial lenders, finding out their criteria. Yeah, hey, we'll talk, Eric. But yeah, that's great. Eric in here. Eric right there, okay? He's in the mentorship. He just made $700,000, and he made almost as much. He hasn't cashed out yet. He's got another property. He's probably going to make almost as much on. And he's done some fantastic stuff. Really proud of Eric. Casper says, is there a legal difference between the three? A legal difference? I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you mean. Can you convert an out-of-the-way retail property and change it into warehouse? Listen, you can do all kinds of shit like that, and I've done all kinds of conversions and things like that. But what you need to be, Casper, you need to get more education. I can't tell you here, but there's different parking requirements for those kinds of properties. Parking requirements will affect you. You have less parking for an industrial building than you do a retail. You have more parking for a church than you do for retail. You know, there's parking requirements and things like that. You'll learn about that in the class. Liam wrote, did you get a chance to look at what I sent you earlier? Looked like it had a monster return. Ooh, Liam, I'll have to look at that. I apologize. I've been swamped, guys. I got up at 4. I found out at 4:30 this morning my mother has COVID, and you know, I've got her in a home. You guys don't know my mom has Alzheimer's, or dementia, I should say. And anyways, and I'm glad I spent some time with her. But it doesn't matter. Thank God for Alexa. I can talk to her and look at her just like I'm talking to you, and we can have a conversation, and it makes her happy. Anyways, getting off track here. But look, go to FlipAnythingUSA.com, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, comment under the videos if you want to help my channel, and I'll gladly reciprocate by coming on here and sharing my life and my lifestyle and this is real, okay? That Cardone crap, that Chris, that's bullshit. That's why they don't talk about anything. You know, they don't talk about anything that really matters to us, to an investor. To an investor, none of that shit matters. But anyways, I will see you guys later, and I appreciate you pounding that like button, pounding that subscribe button, and you know, people are catching on, and I'm seeing a lot more people, a lot more smarter questions, and the channel's growing. And I'm busy as shit, but you're gonna see, you know, I'm like the least slickest guy, because I'm not gonna have makeup put on and wear a shirt that looks like it's covered with dollars and all this other goofy clowny shit that I see these other guys do. Have a purple hair, you know, it's just stupid shit. I'm not a primper, you know. I'm a man that goes out and makes money, okay? And I know how to use my hands. That's something else I don't think any of those guys know how to do, which is also important. If you got some skills, great, you've got an advantage. Or you got some money, great, that's another advantage. But neither one is enough. Having used me to use your hands, that's great. Being fixer upper, you still got to afford to buy one. You know what? And having a lot of money, that's great. But having money doesn't help you get a deal. You got to know what's in here to make a deal, okay? So those are things that you learn from me, and you'll see fantastic results if you apply it. So I'm gonna go, Eric and Liam, I will both look at both your emails, and Eric, I'll probably talk to you tomorrow, maybe a little bit later tonight. But hey, Peter, I saw your name in there, buddy. I'm glad you're aboard. Peter's in the group. There's actually another guy named Tom in there that I have not spoke to yet. He didn't even talk to me. He signed up. I'm sure he's going to be fine. I hope so. And that's the other thing. I don't let just anybody in the class. Listen, if I think you're a dumbass, or I think you're going to be a time burglar, forget it. You're not coming in. But anyways, man, really appreciate you guys. You're doing the right thing. You're following somebody that's smart. You're following somebody that's done it. You can see through the bullshit. Thank God you can, because believe me, people are like sheep. You know, it's like wolves going in there and just going to the slaughter. You know, the sheep coming in for the slaughter to these guys. But anyways, I'm gonna let you go. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Please like, subscribe, comment, and get the book if you don't have the book. Get the book. If you don't have the book, get the book. I'm sure you can send it back if you don't like it. You can read part of it for free. Go to Amazon. I think they give you several pages or a chapter or two that's free. I'll read it to you. Go to Audible. I think I can read a bunch of it to you for free. Do it. Do it. There's no excuse. Mentorship. You got money? 72-hour money-back guarantee. You can dive in, start learning. You can learn a bunch of shit for free and leave. But if you do, you're shortchanging yourself. Nobody's ever done it. I haven't heard anybody leave yet. So I know I'm doing the right thing, and I know people love it. So I'll see you guys later.